In time for the Argentina national anthem, after which your commentators will be Shane Horgan and Mark Robson.
Well, including these two Argentina tests, Ireland with added World Cup warm-ups have 14 matches left before the World Cup is upon them in their opening fixture against Canada on the 19th of September 2015. Paul O'Connell plays his 100th test match today, 7 for the Lions and his 93rd for Ireland. He is the captain, and your referee is Glenn Jackson. Nicolas Sanchez, one of the more experienced players in this experimental Argentina side, is going to kick us off. And it's in fact the same half-back pairings from the last time these two sides met in 2012. Martin Landazio at 9, and it's Murray and Sexton at 9 and 10 for Ireland. Good crowd here in Resistencia, northeastern outpost of Argentina, close to the Paraguay border. It's the first ever test match to be played in this arena. It was Jordy Murphy who took the ball. Good, safe, confident start from the Leinster number 8. And it's Conor Murray who clears, but straight away there's a Puma offside.
Yeah, traditional exit from Ireland, box kick, but a penalty was drawn. I think we've got a big crowd here, Robbo. A young, inexperienced Argentinian side, but rugby doesn't come to Residencia very often, and I think there's an expectation and an onus on them to play well. It can go one or two ways very often in front of a crowd like this. It can either inspire or overpower, and we're going to see what's going to happen in the next 80 minutes.
Important role for Johnny Sexton today, with the relevant experience in the centre pairing between Luke Marshall and Darren Cave. Dozen caps between them. Slightly fewer than we're used to seeing when Darcy and O'Driscoll are in there. But of course no more Bod, and Darren Cave gets first dibs. And first dibs in the line-out for Robbie Dyack on his debut. Here's Marshall with a fairly severe and serious looking haircut. Simon Zebo in possession, back in the Irish fold, having been sent away by Joe Schmidt to work on some key areas. And again, it'll be fascinating to see how Zebo performs today. Robbie Dyack has made a busy start. Born in Johannesburg, one of 5 brothers, and qualifying for Ireland under the residency rule in Resistencia. 20,000 capacity here in this stadium, and it's well filled for this game, and it's a real soccer environment in this part of the world. Only one rugby match has ever been played in this stadium. French Babas against the Pumas. And here is Simon Zebo popping up on the right wing and getting outside his man, and here's Andrew Trimble. So the two wingers finding themselves very close together in these early stages. Here is Jordy Murphy again. The Pumas haven't seen the ball yet. It's all Ireland so far. Johnny Sexton, and it's Luke Marshall, and across comes Tukale, the Pumas fullback, and the ball bouncing in a rather strange way, and we expect that from this pitch.
Yeah, we do. If you find grass today, the ball is going to bounce every which way. That's what the Ireland backs will be looking for when they do kick. But I think we're going to see a lot of ball in hand. The opening couple of phases there. Already we've seen the ball go behind the backs 3 times. Johnny Sexton finding Marshall on each occasion and looking to go wide. Ireland want to retain the ball, but they also want to move the ball wide.
And Argentina have won their last 3 test matches against Italy in their final November game, Uruguay and Chile. This squad has been together for quite a while, playing in the Concert Cup, the South American Championships, when they hammered Chile and Uruguay. But it's a much different proposition for the Pumas, stroke Cougars, stroke Pampas, against a pretty strong Irish side. It was a good take on the line out initially by Ian Henderson. Now Dyack, and he's seeing a lot of the ball, isn't he?
Yeah.
Ulster flanker.
Dyack and Henry both being used to carry the ball, but also as the foil, and the ball going behind them.
Paul O'Connell brought to ground, and here is Felix Jones. Good to see him back in an Irish shirt. He's really suffered with a plethora of very serious injuries, and yet again it's Dyack, full of confidence and ambition early on in his first appearance in an Irish jersey. Conor Murray, and it's Andrew Trimble at first receiver. Here's Simon Zebo again, the 2 wingers working in tandem.
Zebo's really been looking for that outside break, but there's a little bit of space in behind, and I know Ireland want to keep the ball in hand, but there is space there to kick to, and if that option is there, there's no harm at this stage of the match of finding a bit of green grass.
Here is Johnny Sexton, steps away from Macomb. Pretty inexperienced Puma back row it is, and it's experienced on the wide channels as well. The 2 wingers are both youngsters, so will Ireland attempt to expose that as the game develops. Here's Paul O'Connell, chopped off at the knees by Matthias Cortese, one of the more experienced players on this side. Rory Best, little wraparound with Johnny Sexton. Bet Rory Best enjoyed that. Here is Best again, Ireland's most capped hooker. Good driving defence by the Pumas, and here's Murray once more to Dyack. Very eager ball carrier for Ireland, and now Jack McGrath. He's had a fabulous season for Leinster. No Cian Healy on this tour, and Johnny Sexton pokes the ball through. Long kick downfield by Tukelet. Spent a season at Sale, but he's now without a club, having spent most of this season at Bordeaux and Ireland clear.
A lot of endeavour there for not a lot of position. I think they really need to look in behind them. They kick early in the phase as well. Johnny Sexton kicked there as a last option, a last resort, and as a result it was gathered up, and Ireland lost some yardage.
Well, I watched Ireland train a couple of times this week, and there was a lot of fizz, a lot of bite about those sessions, played at a very, very high tempo indeed. Even the captain's run was like a training session, not a traditional run-through. So Joe Schmidt is squeezing every ounce out of these players in the first week of this trip so far. And this Landazzo at last, Argentina getting a chance to get into the rhythm here. Martin Landazzo. This is Tukelet coming up from full back, setting the ball for his scrum half. You can see the pressure Ireland are putting on Argentina in the contact area there. Here is Matthias Cortese, and it was Andrew Trimble who came flying up there. Now here's Marius Montero. Montero, just 22 years of age, 11 tries in 11 internationals. 16 stones of Argentinian beef on the left wing for the Pumas.
I think Cortez forcing the pass there. I think if Argentina are going to stay in this game, they really need to rely on that 9-10 axis. Balls inside and outside Sanchez at 9, Landazzo at 10. Runners just off him. I think when they move the ball wide, this inexperience, the handling isn't quite as good as the first-rate Argentinians, and we see it here, not quite on the money. But what they do have there, number 11, is Montero, a monster of a man, someone who's scored a huge amount of tries already in a short career, and someone they'll want to get the ball to. But I think instead of getting the ball wide to him, they need to use him off 9 and 10.
Well, Montero scored a hat-trick in his second test against Brazil. The match the Argentinians won by 111 points to 0, and 4 tries against Argentina a couple of weeks ago, and they feel he may be the answer. He looks a little bit like Israel Folau.
He does. He's not dissimilar in his physicality as well. You'd like to play in those games against Brazil, get the try ratio up a little bit though, wouldn't you?
Come on.
Absolutely. It's hot out there too. It's pretty humid. Of course, we're closer to the equator here than we are in Buenos Aires, which is 1,000 kilometers south of here.
The Argentinians have looked a little exposed at set phase in the backs, but once they make that initial tackle, they spread out quite well. The line speed has been strong, and Ireland have struggled to break it down. But when you've got 8 of the defensive line in the scrum, Ireland look stronger. They look like have more opportunity to break them down.
Well, Argentina and Ireland have met 18 times, 10 wins to the Irish, 7 to Argentina, and 1 drawn game. The largest winning margin between these two was 22 points. That was the last time they met in 2012 in Dublin. Andrew Trimble on the shoulder of Johnny Sexton, but it's Darren Cave getting his chance. First dibs at Brian O'Driscoll's 13 shirt and making a very good fist of it on the evidence of that. And Ireland are right in behind the Pumas here. Here's Johnny Sexton, Robbie Dyack. Oh, he had 2 men to his left there. One of them was the arch finisher, Simon Zebo. Was that the wrong option? Andrew Trimble trying to take advantage now. Desperate defence. Here's Robbie Dyack. What a good opening 8 minutes he has had. Murray to Ian Henderson. Pumas fly up fast and hard out of defence. And the advantage here surely to Ireland at the breakdown, but what a chance on the outside.
Oh, Robbie Dyack, first game, saw the try line and got a little bit greedy. Had 2 men outside, unfortunately butchered that chance a bit, and a great break from Darren Cave down the middle. Ireland have been using the Marshall coming on that short line and fading wide. This time it was Cave who came on the short line. Marshall drawing the defence straight through and did the smart thing as well. He had no support, so he tried to make the break. When it wasn't there, he didn't do the silly thing, didn't throw a silly ball. He retained his feet. Support got there quickly, rooked out, and all we needed here, good pass to Sexton. Robbie just straighten and pass, and you've got a 2-man overlap. And you know that sometimes those things happen in your first game, and hopefully he doesn't let that affect him for the rest of it.
I touched it probably a bit early. Did you feel it?
I think give it to Zebo was the cry there. And
there may be a frank conversation on the way back from between Dyack and Zebo.
It's hard to believe Johnny Sexton, when he was on the Irish schools radar, he was only the 3rd choice out half at that level, but very much first choice now, and one of the best 10s in Europe, if not the world.
I've dropped my pads. Boys.
Kick rate percentage in the top 14 this season of 78. Good first season for Sexton for Racing Metro, and a good first kick in this first test in Resistencia from the Irish out half.
And it's great that he's really put up his hand, and he had a real desire to come on this tour. Maybe he could have taken a break. I'm sure if he'd asked for a rest, he would have given it, but he was really stressing to Joe Smith that he wanted to be on this tour. He wanted to contribute, and he's a real leader now in the Irish team.
So Argentina with a restart. What a great hard line that was from Darren Cave for that break. Here goes Andrew Trimble. He's had the season of his life. He's won so many awards, it's frightening. Bending the mantelpiece. But a knock on there, and the scrum to Argentina.
Yeah, just a little bit of inaccuracy at the restart. Joe Smith won't be happy with that. Trimble took the ball under good pressure from Montero, but the placement was a bit sloppy. As a result, I think there was a kick through, a little bit of a knock on, and now a good attacking position for Argentina.
Interesting to see that Mr. Montero, all 16 stones of him, has moved into the midfield. So they wouldn't need to lose this scrummage, Argentina, because there's nobody on the blind side.
And they're standing very flat, the first 3 receivers. The 10, Montero, as you said, and Escarte are all standing almost directly flat. It looks like Montero is going to take the ball on a tight line off the 9, and Argentina are going to come around the corner. Otherwise, there's no depth to the play whatsoever.
It's not a huge Argentina pack. They are, of course, well known for their beef historically, but this is a young and reasonably lightweight 8. Of course, in recent times, they've lost the likes of Rodrigo Roncero and Mario Ledesma. They're resting 13 European players who've gone into camp in Pensacola in Florida to prepare for the Rugby Championship. But that is a really good result of that scrum. for the Irish to win that penalty. Taps and pats all around.
Yeah, Ross Best and McGrath will be very happy with that. That was a very good attacking position for Argentina. First penalty in the scrum, that's what they'll want. But also, I think you notice it's a big thing about Joe Schmidt. He wants an 8-man down. He won't have second rows not pushing it, but more, he won't have back row to head up. And you saw there Murphy, Dyack and Henry all down, shoulders on, driving, helping the front row out.
He demands a high standard, this young Sexton, as you well know, Shane.
He does, and he's the general on the pitch, but he's almost a mini Joe Schmidt as well. He's channeling Joe. They're both detail men, I think.
Detail and delivery, isn't that one of Joe Schmidt's phrases? And it's best. Finds Dyack. Murray, nice flat ball to Luke Marshall. There goes Johnny Sexton. Beautiful little move. Felix Jones coming in from fullback. Simon Zebo is off in pursuit. They've got to be careful here defensively of the Pumas, because I think they're expecting that to roll out of play. And Ireland flooding in and driving the Pumas over their own line. Excellent work from the men in green.
Again, an excellent set play and a ball off the top at the back of the line-out, which we haven't seen that much of with Ireland recently. There has been a movement away to it to just guarantee your own ball, but you saw that ball off the top. It meant that it was very difficult for the back of the line-out for the Argentinians to get out on Sexton. He used Marshall and wrapped around, and again a nice little ball, a smart play by Jones there. There's no problem with putting pressure on, keep the ball out. They turn it over, the scrum 5, and Ireland in a very good position with what we've seen already is a strong and dominant scrum.
Of course, off the top ball, the sort of thing Johnny Sexton will be screaming for. Backs just love it, don't they? Here's Murray. Now, can they demonstrate their authority again here at scrum time? Ireland, Jordy Murphy, good control. Here is Conor Murray. Simon Zebo tries to fire his way through a channel. Here is Murray. Here's Luke Marshall now. Tries to barrel and twist his way over. As Murray comes in, and Murray goes low and goes close. And Glenn Jackson says no. Little pick and go on the line, but Ireland coming in off their feet, and that sort of thing will irritate Paul O'Connell and Joe Schmidt, I imagine.
Yeah, just a little bit inaccurate from the scrum there. And the quick tap and go here, and Argentina are away.
And there's space, and they've got away from Darren Cave. Ascarate chips for Montero to chase, needs the bounce here, the big winger. And what a breakout from Argentina, showing absolutely no fear and tremendous endeavour.
Yeah, a bit of quick thinking there by the 9, tap and go. Ireland won't be happy. They turned their back. They weren't waiting for all the pressure was on Argentina. They turned it, and 2 passes, textbook stuff. A really good step off his left foot by that's Ascarte, and a chip over the top. Wasn't much to be done about it. Good work from Ascarate, who is the Argentinian doppelganger for Ruben Pinar, if you get a chance to see him close up. He's certainly got the eyebrows. Rory Best of Ulster. Dramatic news breaking today that David Humphreys has left Ulster to go to Gloucester as their new director of rugby after 22 years with Ulster. So huge sea change for David Humphreys, and a bit of a sea change there for Ireland. They were right on top of the Pumas line about 30 seconds ago. And now they've got to create some form of exit strategy, and it's going to be created for them by the collapsed maul. That's the second time Argentina have infringed in that area, and it's a really cheap way of letting Ireland out of their defensive position. They won't be happy. It sort of is a sign of inexperience, but you know, we had that scrum in the 22, 5 metres out. It was just a little bit inaccurate. The scrum was solid, but the timings were wrong in the move, and as a result, it took a bit of brilliance from Zebo, very elusive to make a yard, but then it was all tough. The defensive line is already set, and you're running into some big units in the Argentinian front 5. Yep. Here was the attempt to break through the Puma defence. Conor Murray trying to place the ball on the line, but well, he rolled it, and it was very close to that whitewash, but I think he'd potentially knocked it on in there as well. Well, it was very close. Maybe if it had gone upstairs, it would have been worth another look at from another angle, but we never got the opportunity, and Argentina were very alert.
Dyack again. Murray, Johnny Sexton for Darren Cave and for Jordy Murphy to run onto. It's Darren Cave in possession for Ireland. Conor Murray again to Johnny Sexton. Here is Felix Jones, Luke Marshall, quick hands to Zebo.
That's smart play by Ireland as well. It's exploiting the defensive line speed of Argentina. They try to get up and in your face. This makes them think.
Sexton, Paul O'Connell, 100th test today. What a servant for Lions on Ireland. Here's Darren Cave, brilliant move. Here's Luke Marshall, one step and he could be away here. Good support coming in from Chris Henry. Some brilliant back play from Ireland, taking advantage of this inexperienced Argentina defence, and they've won the penalty.
And that was, although that was a phase play, was very much a set play as well. We saw that came the same way after the initial ruck drive by Paul O'Connell. The ball came to Sexton, who did a deep switch with Darren Cave. The ball back inside, long pass to Marshall where the space was. Would have been that's a set play move that's done in the training park, and it came off there. Very impressive by Ireland, and they have the freedom of the park at the moment.
Well, Argentina have yet to beat Ireland on Irish soil. Ireland have only won once in Argentina. That was during that first tour in 1952. And thanks to the Irish TV director John O'Brien for the following info. That tour was captained by John's uncle Des 62 years ago. It coincided with the death of Eva Perón, and the start of that tour ran across a week of national mourning for the wife of the president. As a result, it was almost cancelled. But Ireland did eventually complete the tour, including 2 internationals, both played in Buenos Aires. 3-all draw and a second, a 6-0 win for Ireland. Glad I wasn't commentating on either of those two. So it should be straightforward for Johnny Sexton to double Ireland's lead.
And that's about right, I think, at the moment, although Ireland may have, but for the break of a ball, but for a good scrambled defence from Argentina, may have scored a try, but 6-0, 18 minutes in, it's a good foundation, it's a good base. Argentina are looking a little stretched, though.
Well, they're certainly struggling to deal with the pace and power and the accuracy in that middle three for Ireland: Sexton, Cave and Marshall. And here's Murray. One for Andrew Trimble to chase. We saw them working on this before the kickoff. And it's McComb, the Argentine number 8, who takes it. Landagio. This is De La Vega, the young flanker, just 21 years of age.
I think we have a turnover there with Paul O'Connell. Really good work on the ground, and they're shifting it here.
Here's Darren Cave. That kick might actually work out quite well. Maybe it wasn't quite what he intended. Felix Jones on the inside shoulder. Was there crossing there? There was. And that is again a little bit disappointing from Ireland in that wide channel.
Again, probably the right idea by Darren Cave. May have just been able to keep it in hand as well, straight and past the man next to him. Kick came off the inside of his boot and curled into Zebo, and crossing out in the wide channel.
Not quite Lionel Messi, but it was a decent kick pass. Some of the Irish journalists in Buenos Aires earlier in the week, they took the opportunity to go and watch Argentina's final World Cup friendly against Trinidad and Tobago. Messi missed 7 chances in that game, and Ireland have already missed a couple of opportunities, but very much in control. Baez goes in to help, and there's Ian Henderson, the Ulster second row forward, come back row forward in there. And Argentina have it.
Stay on, Green!
Ireland can afford to be really compressing their offensive system. All the runners for Argentina are around 9, around 10, inside and outside. Gives a lot of room to move.
Sanchez looks for width this time, finds Montero and gets away from Andrew Trimble. 16 stone, a lot of skill this kid. Conor Murray comes back, sweeps well, fills the space and calls the mark.
On the 5.
It was, and that was a one-on-one tackle that should have been put down. A big handoff. He's a big man, big frame, 2 meters tall, and managed to get around the outside.
Simon Zebo using that left peg of his. Of course, he has played in the fullback shirt for Ireland. And back into the fold, having done a little bit of work away from the Irish camp with Munster.
And unlike Andrew Trimble there, he's probably had the season of his life. This season, Six Nations, Ireland's Player of the Year.
Good line out. Cortese finding his man. Here's Landazzo, there's a hole there. Through and past Chris Henry, Landazzo. Felix Jones comes up. Here is Montero. They're trying to get Montero involved as often as they can. Here's Landazzo again, looking for that snipe. It's Ascarate. Ball inside for Tukelat. So Ireland have been caught defensively a couple of times here. This is De La Vega. And the crowd now really getting behind their side. Real soccer-style crowd here in Resistencia. They're pretty noisy, especially when they sense an opportunity. McComb takes it on. Landazzo again using that blind side. Here's Cortese. Rory Best comes in. He's working hard there at the breakdown. So good sustained pressure and phases from the Pumas. Landazzo, McComb. Landazzo once more. Here's Herrera, who played 70 minutes of the top 14 final for Castra. And they get the scrummage, and they really are applying a little bit of a squeeze here to this Irish side.
And you're really seeing the capabilities of Landazzo at 9. He's orchestrating everything in the French mold of a half-back, really. Runners inside and out, and you cannot afford to let him run, I think, because there isn't as big a threat from the outside backs. Ireland are coming up quite quickly. As a result, they're leaving little elbows, and it's been exploited by Landazzo.
Right here.
Good powerful work by McComb, getting his side onto the front foot. And here's a man who's really blasted through the top 14 scene. Herrera only arrived at Castra in March, but was an ever-present through the rest of the top 14 campaign.
And you can see he's got that leg drive, and you'll notice as well Argentina are very strong on the leech, so it's a player on top of the player who's carrying the ball. Even before he's reached contact, there's a leech on, he's driving over, that frees up the ball. You know, you're not going to see massive wide passes or intricate moves from this Argentine, but you will see very effective carrying. We saw it there from Herrera, we're going to see it from Cortez, and Agora Paz as well. They are big units, they certainly know how to carry ball, and that's what they're used to doing, and that's what they should stick to.
Well, they are famed historically for their scrummaging power. Maybe not quite as intimidating or fearsome a Puma 8 as we're used to seeing. But with Herrera in there at tight head, and Cortese, who's a really big man. He played in the Heineken Cup semi-final for Northampton 7 years ago against Wasps, so he's been around a bit. He understands the dark arts.
Your head's here, bud.
Let's go, Rossi.
Second. Crouch.
We've got a very stacked left-hand side of the scrum here.
Bind.
Ireland have had to put 2 on the left-hand side, Zebo and Sexton. That leaves really a 5-on-4 for Ireland on the left-hand side, for Argentina on the left-hand side.
Good drive from the scrummage. McComb picks it up. Here's Landazzo and Cadero on the outside. The ball just not bouncing for them, but they do get the penalty anyway to Argentina. So these are worrying moments for Ireland.
It may have been an early break from the scrum. Diak or Henry got off the side of it very, very quickly to help Sexton out. Yes, Diak was off like a shot. Ball seemed to go forward as well, I thought, but obviously the penalty beforehand.
Well, if Landazzo had managed to get away, the right sort of delivery there, Cadero definitely had an opportunity to squirt into the corner there.
A good read by Zebo as well. He was committed, he came in, and that makes the pass a lot more difficult. If you're committed one way or the other, if you go in between, he's going to get that pass away. Instead, he comes up full pace and makes that pass very difficult.
So a chance for Argentina to cut the deficit here through Nicolas Sanchez, the Bordeaux out half. Started all 6 games in the 2013 Rugby Championship and all 3 games in the autumn. So this is the experience in this Argentine side. Daniel Hurcade very aware that he didn't want to throw out his entire Cougar squad. He wanted to drip through the side guys with experience like Sanchez.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a pedigree, all right. And when you've got strong players at 9 and 10, as this Argentinian team does, it really gives you a chance.
Football style roll in Resistencia, and Argentina just beginning to settle into themselves now, finding a little bit of rhythm.
That was about the laziest stroke I've ever seen to kick a penalty, but very effective.
So Ireland, in the early stages, looked as if they might run rampant against this Argentina side, realising they're in a hell of a game right now. Here's Sexton with the restart. Now Montero. Andrew Trimble doesn't want to miss his man again. Andrew Trimble, the Irish Rugby Players Association Player of the Season. Felix Jones. He's had neck problems, ACL, shoulder, all sorts of serious injuries, but has fought really hard to get back from those problems.
A different restart there from Sexton, goes to the opposite side for Trimble. He's very good in the air. Could have taken maybe just about 3 meters off it. And these are the small detail in Test match rugby. That lands 3 meters closer, and Trimble, who's one of his real talents, is getting up in the air and challenging it. Would have been on top of it.
Daisy. And it's Lavanini, the youngster, who they are likening to Pedro Sporlader, the great Argentine lock of yore. Up goes Trimble! Oh, he's taken out in the air there, and that did not look good. That did not look good at all.
Yeah, that was a heavy spill. Very committed by both. A brilliant box kick, perfectly timed. Huge height, just the right distance for everyone to challenge. But Trimble was up early, so he had the rights to the ball. Should be interesting what the touchmaster official has to say about this.
Well, we're relying, of course, on our host broadcaster here in Argentina, and here is the impact. Shane?
It is one of those 50-50s, but we've seen it this year. If the first man in the air has the rights to the ball, and for me, Trimble's up there early. Montero, he's certainly, he's looking at the ball, but he's up just fractionally later. It's really hard to call. You wouldn't be surprised. It could be yellow. It could be nothing.
Well, Glenn Jackson is waiting for the host broadcasters to provide him with some adequate replays on the big screen. At the moment, there is no movement.
Thank you.
The TMO will be called into action, I'm sure. Sean Veltzman. So the Argentinian assistant producers working furiously in the truck, and this is what they've come up with. He really was smashed. 2 Pumas hitting him almost simultaneously. One of them, the 16 stones of Montero.
It's very difficult. The problem is the second chaser takes his eye off the ball a little bit. Montero is going up there legitimately.
From that view, what I've got is the number 8.
Has a little look at Trimble beforehand and may jump into him. That doesn't look fantastic.
Well, for chasing players, saying they have their eyes on the ball is not a strong enough argument. They have a responsibility for the safety of the receiver. That's in the new
I just see a blue 8. I don't think
IRB
took the eyes off. He was looking at the jumper, not the ball. So I'm going to penalise blue 8 and put him in the sin bin for that.
Yeah, that sounds a bit right. I think
number 8.
Montero, eyes on the ball, up at the same time as Trimble.
8.
McClung just had a little look beforehand, and he may have jumped into him. But Argentina are going to struggle now. They struggled early on the game. They're going to struggle again now if they go down to being down to 14.
Of course, Ulster men know all about that sort of impact after what happened to Jared Payne on the Heineken Cup quarter-final against Saracens, the incident involving Alex Good, which led to Payne's red card.
And I think, if Trimble stays down there, maybe it's more than a yellow, maybe it's a red, and Trimble's not going to milk it, that's for certain, but he shipped a heavy fall there.
Well, it is the way in which the player falls and the part of the body that the player falls on. That is relevant in law. Here is Rory Best, and he finds Dyack. Here it is Conor Murray, now Chris Henry and Jack McGrath. Good hands from Ireland. Murray, Johnny Sexton, and Darren Cave fumbles. Perfect conditions out there for handling today. It's dry and it's crisp. There's no moisture about, so he'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, it's something that is in Darren Cave's game. He normally gives one of them up a match, and he can't do it at this level. But the original peel off the line out, the ball was on back inside for Bestie there at number 2. He was hidden by the line he took, and they went outside. The options could have been on outside, but certainly that ball inside was ready.
Rory Best, a try and a broken arm on that heartbreaking defeat by New Zealand.
Still got the ball.
Taken on by O'Connell. Conor Murray to Rory Best. It's Lavanini who makes the tackle, 6'7" second row forward. Johnny Sexton's got plenty of height on that. Time for the chasers to get there. Brilliantly taken by Tukelet, the Argentine fullback. That was fabulous stuff. And I hear Sanchez steps inside Luke Marshall. Brilliant footwork by Sanchez. He's got Montero. Is Montero going to show us why they're so excited about this kid? What a finish by Montero.
That is a world-class finish. Johnny Sexton had him and he was gone inside of about 3 feet. Big step, big handoff, slowed down and then took off again. Dived and made it into the corner. Phenomenal break originally from Sanchez. Got the ball to Montero and he had a lot to do. Big step off the left and a hand. Henry takes a hand off, and here we go. Big step to the left, outside, and he's used that fend on Trimble. He used it on Sexton and dived in the corner. Fantastic try for Argentina.
Well, that was simply a sensational piece of finishing. You'd have to say, in isolation, it was world class.
It was, and Johnny Sexton is no mug when it comes to tackling either. He's a very committed, very able tackler, and we saw first Sanchez with the big step, hands off Chris Henry, gets the ball to the big man, and inside, outside again, and used that big right hand fend earlier on Trimble, and now on Sexton, 2 of the best defenders in the Irish squad.
Well, that has lifted this sun-drenched, very excitable crowd, and so it should. Sanchez, one of the creators of that try. The initial take by Tukelet was just out of this world, as was the try. And can they finish it all off with the perfect language strike again from Sanchez? And Ireland are forced onto the back foot due to what you would have to describe as one of the best tries we've seen in many a long day from Montero.
Such a good finish, but Les Kiss won't be happy with the defensive sister of Ireland. The Argentinians are only attacking around the ruck. One runner out, 2 runners out. Yeah, we're very spread wide in those positions.
Up goes Simon Zebo.
Back off Green.
Gets his hands to it. Need a bit of urgency now from Ireland. Here's Darren Cave. Tries to get outside that Puma defence. It's De La Fuente who makes the tackle. In goes Murray. Now Ian Henderson. Where is the Irish response? Murray for Johnny Sexton. Paul O'Connell. And just struggling for a second there to hold their depth. Now there might be a chance for Simon Zebo. He is electric now. It's Felix Jones.
Stay on. No!
Ireland coming in to clear out, obvious penalty there to Ireland. I think it was Lavanini
Offside.
who came in offside.
I think we're seeing as well the keep on going is really working for Ireland. If they keep on going the same way, eventually those Argentinian numbers will run out. We saw earlier in the game they're doing a hit up or 2 hit ups, then having a look down the short side. But it really is the spaces on the outside. Keep on going. Eventually there'll be numbers down. Bear in mind they're down to 14 men as well. You need to straighten past the man next to you, and eventually there'll be no numbers left.
Yeah, Benjamin McComb is on a yellow card, taking Andrew Trimble out in the air. Here's Best for O'Connell. Not too far from the Argentinian line here. They mauled so well in the Six Nations. You might remember the 2 tries they scored against Wales, and this is the sort of thing that they did, and that's exactly how they finished them as well. That is fabulous work, and on the end of it is the Ulsterman, Chris Henry.
Yeah, well done, Chris Henry, but well done forward pack in their entirety there. That was really smart play, and it's a feature of Ireland's play this year, something that John Plumtree has really brought in. They'll miss it when it's gone, but you saw there for a moment they didn't panic. They kept their calm. There was an opportunity to drive through at speed. It could have split off. They didn't. They steadied, they reassessed again, and when the try line was there, Chris Henry was over it.
Yeah, disappointing for Ireland that John Plumtree is off shortly to take up a coaching post with the Hurricanes. Heading home for family reasons, he says. But yeah, he certainly made a difference, and here's Johnny Sexton to increase the Irish lead. And they did respond quickly. That was the important thing against the 7 forwards of Argentina.
Yeah, great response. Good mixing up the game as well. We saw them move a lot of ball, keep it in hand in the first 30 minutes. I think they need to vary it. We saw it there, varying it with the line-out maul, which they've been very effective at. What they need now is to kick this goal and then a very clinical exit strategy.
You can hear the vuvuzelas bringing back great memories, not from the World Cup in South Africa. And have they done enough to put Johnny Sexton off? And well, he's missed it. But Ireland, relief. At least they're back in the lead.
Well, of the restarts so far, there've been a couple of penalties given away by Argentina, and there's been a couple of penalties given away by, or a couple of mistakes made by Ireland. Should be interesting to see how they go this time. It will be the box kick for Andrew Trimble. But Conor Murray just needs to take a couple of yards off his box kick. Needs to be precise, allow Trimble to get underneath it.
These 2 sides over the 2 tests, playing for the Admiral William Brown Trophy, the Irish-born first Admiral of Argentina, the father of the Argentine Navy. Bet you didn't know that. Look at that for a drive, and you just feel this maul as the game develops is going to be more and more effective. It's already led to the first Irish try. Here's Conor Murray for that box kick. Oh, and Trimble again is clattered in mid-air. And the referee is happy with that. It was De La Vega coming in the open side for Argentina. So he's going to be feeling the big bruises, I think, after this game, as Andrew Trimble.
He's too brave for his own good sometimes, Andrew Trimble, isn't he? He doesn't know when he's beaten in the air.
Straight inside, yeah. Taking out the attacker.
There is McComb serving his short sentence. 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. And Ireland have a penalty.
Go for the corner!
I was surprised with that restart. The whole of the back line of the open side, they weren't prepared to move the ball. It was very much, we're only going to box kick this. The option, if they had a look to the that side, it may have been worth having a look, because Argentina were very much focused on that box kick, and it's surprising that it's not an extra option out of the defensive zone.
Johnny Sexton, some talk that he might extend his Racing Metro contract. There's also some talk that he might be coming home, so we'll see how that pans out. So inside the 22. There's the perfect angle for you, and again it's Robbie Dagg. It's a great first half on the line out. Here's Conor Murray, and you sense there's a little bit of space unfolding in front of him. Here's Jack McGrath, who takes it on. The Irish pack looking more and more powerful here. Now Darren Cave. Conor Murray, Chris Henry has already scored a try. Good tackle by Lavanini. Again, working on the blind side through Paul O'Connell. Conor Murray just about gets the ball out to Mike Ross. Murray again. Still on the yellow card, remember, Argentina, in the final minute of that suspension. So Ireland looking to go into half-time with more points to their credit, but it's not going to work out like that. And the first time close to the Argentine line, Ireland give away a penalty.
Yeah, you can't be light on the ruck. Argentinians are very tight on the ball. That time De La Vega getting over it and turning the ball over. Ireland are also having the appeal from the line out is working really well. That time Conor Murray made some good yardage. I think we've seen a move away from the ball out the back that's been utilised a number of times in the first 5 minutes to hitting it straight up, and that seems to be going into the teeth of the Argentinian defence.
Stop.
Robbie Dayak played that in entire sequence of phases with one boot.
Still time off.
Which he is now replacing. He'll be pretty happy with his first half, Robbie Dayak, apart from the rather glaring overlap that he spurned.
You get one on your debut, don't you? You get one free one on your debut.
Lavanini, good tackle count for the second row forward. Plays at Racing Metro, just 21 years of age. Has struggled to break through to the first team in Racing Metro, but maybe that all lies ahead of him. Big Puma prospect as they try to build their side for the World Cup. Their opening game is against New Zealand at Wembley Stadium. Good luck, lads. England doing tremendously well this morning against New Zealand. Just losing by 5 points, a late Conrad Smith try. Here's Rory Best then into the final few seconds of this first half. Paul O'Connell, one of the loudest hooters I've ever heard. Here's Luke Marshall. Good tackle by Ascarate. Conor Murray, and it's little switch ball for Felix Jones. Murray hitting the line hard as Robbie Dayak does well. Cortese's injured here. And now Conor Murray to Johnny Sexton. The hand comes in, and that looked like a deliberate knock-on, was it?
Yeah.
Or does the referee say it's only a knock-on? Well, he's decided there is no penalty. There is the half-time whistle, and Ireland lead at the break. A try apiece by 11 points to 10.
Well, the Pumas absorbed all the early pressure and then they stung with a try right out of the top drawer. Ireland have responded through Chris Henry and they lead by a point at half-time. Cracking game going on in Argentina between the Pumas and Ireland. What's Joe Smith saying to the boys in the sheds here at half-time? How can they extend this lead?
I think patience is one thing when they get into that sort of red zone near the try line. I think try and get more mauling opportunities from the line out. It's looked very, very strong in that area, and defence. Let's not be soft on the inside or drifting out too early. Let's shore that up, because that cutback is what Argentina are making all their ground in around that sort of 10, 12, 13 area. Usually
teams do a lot of homework on their opposition. Is there a chance perhaps with the Pumas, because they haven't seen them play a lot, that they just might not know what they were expecting?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing you're going to get anytime you ever play Argentina is competitiveness, passion, guys bouncing up off the ground. As I said earlier, infringements coming in from the side. They frustrate you. I think what Joe Schmidt has to say to Ireland at half-time is, let's get into the Argentinian 22 and stay there. Let's build those phases, get those penalties. If we have to get a few scores, as Wally said in the maul, put the ball over the bar. For next 15 minutes of the second half, he's got to get into the Reds, into the Argentinian 22. I think when Ireland have played out the field, we saw it early on, they put 18, 19 phases together. They didn't really go anywhere. So that's kind of keeping Argentina, giving them a bit of confidence in their defence. So they've got to try and get in there, be patient, as you said, and be more efficient at the breakdown.
There's a sprinkle of experience with a few guys with a lot of caps in this Ireland side, but half of the team have got 10 or less. I guess in these situations, you're going to need your big players to step up and carry the young guys through. Yeah, but you put them like for like with the Argentinians. They're still a more experienced side. They've all got some great Heineken Cup experience. And, you know, I think with the leadership, that core leadership they have there, I think Ireland showed when they were replying to that first try with their maul that they've plenty of belief. OK, well, they haven't won a game in Argentina in their history, Ireland, in terms of official test matches, but they lead this one by a point. Let's get back to Shane Horgan and Mark Robson.
Ireland have arrived in Resistencia as the champions of Europe. The two defeats they have had in their last 6 internationals came against England and New Zealand, both narrow and heartbreaking. Wales, Scotland, Italy and France have been conquered, and Ireland focusing on continuing the Joe Schmidt reign in winning style. And they're leading at half-time 11 points to 10. Robbie Dayak, very impressive, pretty physical first half from him. In possession there, and here's Johnny Sexton. Andrew Trimble coming off his wing again. The wingers popping up in midfield close together. Johnny Sexton inside for Paul O'Connell. Remember his 100th appearance in the Test match arena today. Chris Henry, scorer of the try from the maul in the first half for Ireland. Now it's Conor Murray. Johnny Sexton. Simon Zebo, good hands off the fingertips there by Zebo. Molly Vest just flicks the ball up for Jack McGrath. No Cian Healy here, being rested from this tour. Last time I saw Healy play, it is ankle strapped in what looked like industrial electrical tape. Here is Jordy Murphy now. Here's Felix Jones trying to step away from Nicolas Sanchez, who kicked beautifully in that first half off the kicking tee and also made one exceptional break. A little bit of a lack of accuracy there from Ireland, and it dribbles away at the touch.
Yeah, Ireland just running out of patience there. A similar start to the start of the first half, where they take the ball through phases. A lot of the ball out the back, used a couple of times, and it came across a huge hit there by Lavandini on Zebo. He retained possession though.
Just having a look at the tackle here.
Well, the referee Glenn Jackson wants to have a look at the tackle here, so
just looking at the tackle
TMO Sean Veltzman
from the Argentinian.
And of course TMO references these days can eat into time quite rapidly and can be a frustration, but if they reach the right conclusion, well, then it's definitely well worth a look, isn't it?
Yeah. And Joe Smith at half-time. Let's have a look at this tackle here.
Might be the knee drop, or potential knee drop they're looking
at the top there. Sean, you happy?
Seems quite committed though. There's not much in that.
Yep, you happy? Play on.
It seemed okay. Good decision by Glenn Jackson. Good decision by the TMO. Not too much in that.
Nothing to see here. Play on.
Cortese, good take by Robbie Dyack. All right, Jordy Murphy hammering into this Argentina defence. Good work by Murphy, rolling his way through several tackles and then bouncing to his feet. That's fabulous stuff by the Leinsterman. Now here's Luke Marshall, brilliant wraparound. Here's Johnny Sexton for the line. Bells and whistles from Ireland. What a fabulous score.
A phenomenal try, massive carry in midfield. Right cut up through the middle of the Argentinian defence. Ball spins out. The old move that we've seen so many times with 10 to Cave. Back to Sexton again. Great play by Cave as well. And Sexton had a lot to do. Sprinting towards the line. Great pace by Sexton. Makes it over. Carries a couple of defenders over with him.
Well, Johnny Sexton continuing his brilliant finishing from the Six Nations when he scored 4 tries. He was joint top try scorer in the Six Nations. Well, what a searing move that was by Ireland.
Yeah, and we saw the two. We saw the bludgeon and the rapier as well. Jordy Murphy couldn't be put down. Meters after contact. Rolled around, got up, carried on a couple more meters in behind the Argentinian defence, and then the fast ball, and it was really great play. Cave coming short. Marshall out the back. The ball goes back to Sexton on the wrap around. We've seen it so many times for Leinster and Ireland now, and finished so well.
I think you might have been involved in a few moves like that in your time, Shane Horgan. Now Sexton with the conversion attempt. 66 points in total in the Six Nations. As Shane was saying, he was mad keen to come on this tour to bring his experience to it, having had a little bit of a rest due to Racing Metro's failure to go all the way in the top 14, but well, just shaving the outside of the post there, feathering the post. What a move this was. And it was Johnny Sexton and Luke Marshall going together like steak and Malbec.
Yeah, it was Luke Marshall actually on the short line. No look pass almost, and Sexton takes a positive line entirely and regathers the ball.
Bit of a crazy restart, and the ball eventually bouncing for the flanker De La Vega. Here is Sanchez, chips through. Oh, De La Fuente! There's no one there if De La Fuente can gather. Well, they were very nearly clean through that Irish defence. Now they pummel away on that blind side. Tremendous response by Argentina. And they're just trying to nibble their way towards that Irish line. And it's Baez who waits, and Baez who goes. And Henderson comes in with Marshall to make the tackle. The ball is loose there, and Ireland flop upon it. So it looks like they're going to survive for the moment. Conor Murray with the clearing kick.
And a good exit kick from Conor Murray. Great turnover, committed to the ruck there. Ireland put in extra numbers, but this is a really smart kick by Sanchez. A couple of moments earlier, Felix Jones had attempted to take the ball on the full. He was out of place. Sanchez saw that and put the ball in behind, exposed Ireland. And Argentina were unlucky not to come out with a try there. De La Fuente doing very well.
Mandaggio, good flat ball to Ascarate. Again, they're making inroads through that Irish defence. It's Montero coming off the wing to score that great try in the first half. Casdero, the diminutive 12.5 stone right winger. Now it's Baez. And they've gone down the blind side to collect. Cross comes Zebo and Henderson. So they're having to work hard in defence here. Sanchez. Chris Henry trying to hold his man up there, but Argentina have recycled pretty well here. Here's Herrera. The monstrous Castro tight head. Mandaggio is De La Vega on his shoulder. Replacement on the bench there is Matias Alemano, who's on for Carriza. So they've lost a bit of experience in the boiler room of Argentina.
What Argentinian teams can do traditionally, and we're seeing it here again, is change the tempo of the game. All of a sudden they look as they're very effective, as if they can score a try. They put Ireland under huge pressure, but for long periods as well they're ineffectual. They don't look as if they're going anywhere, and then there's a switch, a mindset, and they look very attacking. They look very positive, and they look like a decent side.
Well, they've certainly hurt Ireland in the past, notably at the World Cup in 1999. Argentina won 28-24 in a playoff, one of the quarter-final spots. Ireland beat Argentina 16-15 in a pool match in 2003 when Alan Quinlan's try saved Irish rugby, he tells us. And in 2007, Argentina beat Ireland in Paris.
You need to get up through the bind. You need it. You need longer bind, please.
Winning in that game by 30 points to 15. They won Pool D and sent Ireland home. So the matches between Argentina, there's a lot of history, and a lot of it hurtful history for Irish rugby.
But we see a potential overlap here again, with Argentina stacking the left-hand side with 5 out there against the Ireland 4 plus the 9. Johnny Sexton and Zebo covering the short side. I think we might see a move to the Montero wing here.
There's the mark, you're right, so step up to it.
Joe Schmidt's half-time team talk, I'm sure, will stop Montero.
I'm sure a lot of European sides watching this on Sky back home will have noted the name Montero already. Searching for his agent's phone number.
You need up. You need up.
Amazingly for Montero, that's his 12th try and his 12th international. It's quite a return, even though admittedly some of those games were against very weak South American opposition.
Well, there's nothing weak about the defenders he was up against today, and he's dispatched a couple and look very promising. Looks like a real athlete. Huge fend. Both Trimble and Saxon felt in the first half.
We're getting a Mexican wave here in Argentina. I'm sure it couldn't be called a Mexican wave in Argentina. Surely they'll have their own name for it. So Mandaggio waits as the scrummage goes through the 90, and that means Ireland have turned the ball over here.
And I'm sure it's something that wouldn't have been expected. Certainly traditionally Argentina, that's where they make their money. They're known as a scrum team, and Ireland have been very dominant in that area right throughout the game.
The Irish side trained in Buenos Aires this week at the Hurling Club, an Irish oasis for expats and those with Irish bloodline. They were playing rugby on one pitch and hurling on the other. That was quite an experience. And they were warmly welcomed, the Irish side. Here is Conor Murray, back to Zebo, again using that left foot option.
That's a pretty reliable left foot as well. He always gets you decent yardage this time just at the 22. He was under a bit of pressure. A pass back into the goal area. In less than 9 is the opportunity to kick the ball. That would be the desired exit strategy, but that time they used the left foot of Zebo.
Arias Cortese. Paul O'Connell trying to get in there to disrupt that Argentine line-out. Of course, they have a reputation as a mauling side as well. Do the Pumas. They've hurt a lot of teams over the decades with that method. Here's Landazzo, bit of back foot ball here really though, and it's Cordero who's pretty quick. And now it's still a Fuentes, and a good start to this second half. The Puma centre, Cortese, smashing at this Irish defence. He was given a chance to run to there, was the Argentine hooker. Now it's Sanchez, and Tuchelet wanted the inside ball there, and it looked as if there might have been a channel to explore. Here is Tuchelet.
I'd say Tuchelet is fuming there. The ball was on the inside. He'd come from the blind side. He was invisible, and the option was there.
Landazzo. Sanchez, Darren Cave fires out of defence. And he just about got his hands on his man.
On his feet.
When you do that, you've got to hit your target.
Yeah, you're a hero if it comes off. It's the right decision if the man doesn't get the ball away.
Another good spell for Argentina here. Here's Cordero on the fumble, and Zebo makes the tackle. In goes Rory Best, one of the turnover kings for Ireland, that he's forced a knock on there through his endeavours at the breakdown.
Ireland just lost a little bit of concentration here, and this is the momentum that we talked about earlier on, the swing that can come from Argentina when they sense an opportunity. And good work there on the ground. How many times has Bestie done that? Rory Best is the best in the business, and he takes plenty of knocks, he takes belts and getting himself in that position, but very often he steals the ball or forces the turnover, which he did there.
It's good to see Felipe Conteponi turning up at the team hotel this week, Shaggy, to hook up with his old Leinster mates. I believe he took them down to the Booker Juniors Stadium to have a look around.
He did. Would you believe he had access there? The king of Buenos Aires had access there. All he had to do was flash that smile.
He's an impossibly good-looking man, Felipe Conteponi. He has it all the skills, all the looks, and he's a surgeon.
I hate those guys.
Well, there he is, Montero, 40 metres made, but it was the way he finished his opportunity that had us all salivating.
I was very impressed by his work rate as well, Mark. He was the first one up to every one of those restarts. Invariably, he was putting the man down, working in the backfield as well. So it's not just all going forward. He's looking to get his hands on the ball, but he's doing the grunt work as well, which is as important.
Sit!
Jack McGrath crumples on that loosehead side, but it's Argentina who are penalised.
Well, I would have liked to seen that one go out the back to Sexton. It looked as if Marshall was coming with a short ball and Zebo was primed for the inside.
Johnny Sexton to clear. Quite a few Irishmen missing from this squad. Tommy Bowe, Paddy Jackson, Rickard Strauss, Luke Fitzgerald, Sean O'Brien, Gordon Darcy, Peter O'Mahony, Robbie Henshaw, disappointingly for Joe Schmidt as he looks to fill the now vacant 13 jersey. Cian Healy, Sean Cronin, Keith Earls and Marty Moore.
A lot of good players mentioned there, and there's some good performers out in the pitch as well. Darren Cave obviously getting his opportunity here with Brian O'Driscoll gone. Interesting, Joe said before, there's a responsibility to people who get that 13 jersey now.
Murray under pressure from Baez, did well, just put Murray off his stride for a second. Darren Cave to Andrew Trimble. And it's still a Fuente with a tackle. Johnny Sexton, Conor Murray outside Sexton, and Dyack in the move. Luke Marshall, poor pass, Simon Zebo just knocks it forward, and a promising move comes to a disappointing conclusion.
Yeah, Ireland could do with just putting a little bit more pace on the ball. You know, they're moving that ball, they're looking to move the ball wide, but they seem to be slowing down when they carry. Missed move there in the middle, and a little bit too much backhand from Marshall. Didn't have quite the weight to get out to Zebo, who probably should have caught it anyway, but just a few inaccuracies now. I'd like to see the ball carrier put a bit more pace on the ball, commit the Argentinian defender, and then move the ball across his body.
He's a great strike runner, Zebo. If you can put him into space. 2 Heineken Cup hat-tricks to his name. He also scored a try against Argentina 2 years ago when they last met in Dublin. Real wrestling match in there. Argentina somehow managed to keep their hands on the ball here. It's good work coming through there from Robbie Dyack. He was really powerful in contact.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Back end of the tackle. That's, you know, and they've moved the ball quickly to Sexton.
Now Luke Marshall caught on the game line. Presents the ball. Now it's Luke McGrath. Luke McGrath, he's the scrum half. Jack McGrath, of course. Sexton with a chip. Up comes Trimble, needs the bounce. And it's well taken by Tukale. Tukale does well, and he finds McComb. This is brilliant from Argentina. Rory Best is one of the tacklers. Neat quick ball here. Lavanini just got in the way of Martin Landagio there. And almost created the error by his scrum half. Not quite in the right place, was he? Now Landagio. They can rebuild here. Here's Cortese. Massively broad-beamed man is Cortese. De La Vega pops the ball away, and off they go again through McComb. This number 8 has done some good things for Argentina. Now Sanchez. This is Cordero. Cordero looks outside to De La Fuente. De La Fuente goes close. Very close for Argentina.
Very good covering tackle there by Felix Jones. Came across, really smashed in, needed help his friend out. Zebo, double tackle, and the ball goes loose. But McComb is starting to have an influence on this game. He's carrying very big. He's getting just in behind the game line. Great play by Zebo there. Knocked down the fend and in under the body. It's a really perfect tackle technique. He doesn't commit himself, knocks the hand down with one and in on the other. Helped out with Felix Jones. Textbook stuff, well done.
Well, Ireland really under a lot of pressure since they scored the try. You might have expected that they would kick on from that score from Johnny Sexton and really dominate this inexperienced Pumas stroke Cougars selection.
Yeah, I think they need to play a bit of territory as well and not be afraid to kick the ball. But I see, looks like Fergus McFadden has come on.
Ian Henderson takes that line-out ball. And Ian Henderson is grabbed round the neck there by Herrera. Off goes Conor Murray. He's got Zebo on the switch, and it's Lavanini who comes back and makes the tackle. The big second row forward does have a high tackle count in this game.
Yeah, great work right there. Great little break down the short side by Conor Murray. Uses his fend really well. Power put his head down and did well not to go into touch. If you notice, Rory Best picked the ball up brilliantly and just unfortunately was bundled into touch. But I think Ireland are going after the yards. There's some yards there, but they just go after the territory. Go long, take the pressure out, get out of your 22, get out of your 40. It's been there a long time.
Well, Ireland making a few changes now. As you said, Fergus McFadden is on now. Kieran Marmion's on for his first cap. And Jamie Heaslip, all that experience, is off the bench as well now. Here is McComb, and Landagio did well to keep his hands on that. Oh, and Andrew Trimble with the interception. And Andrew Trimble sprints away unopposed for the easiest of tries, but great awareness by the Irish right wing. He's been razor sharp this season.
And how many times have we seen Andrew Trimble do that? It's not by mistake, it's not by chance. He reads it really well. Darren Cave's line speed has been excellent this half. A bit of an ineffectual move in the centre, and then Andrew Trimble reads it, picks it off and scores a try. We've seen him do it many times in white, and here he does it in green. But himself and Darren Cave have worked well. Good line speed, and that's the result.
He's always hovering, always sniffing for that intercept, whether in white or green.
If you're going to throw a speculator, do it left or right.
He's made it a bit of a trademark as Andrew Trimble, just his awareness for that opportunity. And what a blow for Argentina, because they had been playing well up to the point of that intercept by Trimble.
They do, and Ireland look more likely to score a try, though. Their Argentinians are grinding away. Just a little bit of inaccuracy from Ireland. Argentina don't have the threat out wide unless they get the ball to Montero, and that's generally off broken play. A little bit more control from Ireland. You can see them putting some scores up.
Sanchez with the restart.
Tackle! Stay on. Stay.
Cortesi's gone off, replaced by Montoya, and Sanchez tries to drop a goal again with that very relaxed style of his.
Stay here.
Ireland called the mark through Felix Jones.
Stay here.
Probably not the best call in those circumstances. I don't know what 3 points is
Don't move.
going to do. A speculator 3 points of that.
So a chance to clear for Felix Jones. And it's into the arms of his opposite number, Joaquin Tucalet, without a club at the moment. Dayak makes the tackle, in goes Paul O'Connell, and
Got to get up,
it's a
come back
penalty.
round. You scored up, you've got to get back round the gate.
Maybe a little bit calm here. Take the 3. The last ones were a speculator. This a really good opportunity
Ruck form, so you've got to get back
to
round
put
and
10
through.
between the sides.
Well, I mentioned how many players were missing for Ireland. Those 13 players have headed off to Pensacola in Florida for a training camp for the Rugby Championship. Include players like Horacio Aguja, Marcelo Bosch, Juan Martin Hernandez, Juan Imhoff, Juan Miguel Leguizamon, who was actually on our flight over from London to Buenos Aires, and Juan Martin Fernandez Lobe. So they are really missing some heavily influential players.
Yeah, and you named off a number of influential Irish players a few moments ago, but I think the Argentinians there have an even stronger reserve.
Nicolas Sanchez, who up to that point had been kicking very well.
Okay, yeah, he's gone.
Great opportunity to kick the ball deep into Argentinian half and get a strong chase line, and it's been an aspect of the Irish game that's been good. Strong by Darren Cave, you saw by Trimble, picked off, but he's gone short.
Simon Zebo. Ireland last toured Argentina in 2007 when they lost both test matches. And then that Argentina side went on to finish 3rd at the World Cup. That was their great team. Here's Johnny Sexton for McFadden to chase. He needs the bounce, he's got it now. Great work by McFadden. Darren Cave was to his right-hand side as Ireland flood into the breakdown. Marmion. Now Johnny Sexton sensing a gap, doing well, showing his strength. He really is a powerful runner. And now it's Felix Jones. And he puts the kick in, and the kick ricochets around and eventually ends up in touch. But some powerful play there from Ireland.
Yeah, we saw the whole skill set of Johnny Sexton there, the chip out of defence, Fergus McFadden powering onto it, made huge yardage, and then the ball comes out to Sexton again, who hands off McComb, who's their number 8 and one of their stronger players, one of their bigger carriers. Sexton gets a fend to him, and he seems to have a little problem, though. I just saw him signal to the bench there may be an issue with Johnny Sexton.
6,
Yeah,
no problem, 6.
He's flexing and stretching. No Paddy Jackson in the squad. He's got a stress fracture to his lower back, so Ian Madigan would be the replacement there. Paul O'Connell takes the line out. And the Maul, remember, led to Ireland's first try, scored by Chris Henry. It's a long way to go, though, because that's the 22. But they're well set here. They're very confident in this aspect of their game. And it's Chris Henry who did score that try. Now Marmion, born in Wales. Sorry, Wales, you lost out there. Here's Marmion, and it's Trimble again. Lovely little angle and run for Trimble, but he's given the ball away in contact. And Argentina might get a chance to clear here.
Knock on.
Yeah, Trimble came onto the ball so many times. He does it so well. He hides in on the far side of the ruck, can't be picked up as a runner and hit the ball at huge pace.
Time off.
But unfortunately was turned over. I think what we're
6
seeing
and
as
9.
well from Ireland,
9.
we could see a
thank you.
more simplistic game plan.
Thank you.
We could see them kicking
we
for the
can.
corner for
6,
territory
6,
and then using the rolling maul. But I think they're trying things out in this game. I think they're using it as an opportunity to keep the ball in hand and try things. And as I say that, Johnny Sexton has to go off.
Well, that's really bad news for Ireland.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Thank you,
Obviously,
yeah.
the Argentines focusing on their man, but it's Sexton who limps away. So Ian Madigan, who played with great energy and almost anger when he came on for Brian O'Driscoll in the Celtic League final, gets his chance. He gets 17 minutes in the 10 shirt for Ireland.
Well, his last 2 performances have both been a sub, and he's made an impact both times, both the semi-final of the Rabo and the final. He made a huge impact, and he's got over 15 minutes to make an impact here.
Well, he scored the decisive try in that Celtic League semi-final against Ulster. Pains me to say. But yes, an impact he made there, and a tremendous performance. Mostly at inside centre when he came on for Brian O'Driscoll after 8 minutes of the Pro 12 final. And of course, this season, O'Connor at Leinster, the Leinster coach, has pretty much preferred Jimmy Gopperth as his starting 10 in the big games. So there's a big chance for Madigan to lay down a marker.
And especially if Ireland are running the ball like they have been, it's set up for him. He loves to attack that line, he loves to move that ball wide.
He's got a nuclear pass on him, as Ian Madigan. Fast and hard. He really does deliver it at pace.
Scrum time is a huge bonus for Ireland here. I know this is not a first choice front row by any means, or indeed 8 for the Argentinians, but Ireland have dominated in almost every scrum time. They've either turned the ball over or got a penalty or really disrupted the Argentinian scrum.
Just a word for Kieran Marmion on his debut. 22 years of age, he had 2 Man of the Match awards in the Heineken Cup this season for Connacht. One of them at home to Saracens, the other away from home in that famous win against Toulouse. And he's also the player of the season at Connacht, the Connacht Players Player of the Year. So he's had a mighty fine 8 or 9 months. Here is Madigan. Now Zebo. Brilliant to Cave. What a fabulous release of the ball to Darren Cave. How did he manage to slip that away? And it looks like the finish from Cave may well be confirmed. Super rugby again, gelling across the back line.
A superb ball out the back by Zebo. The actual move itself didn't work. He made it out of nothing. He stepped off his left, threw that no-look ball behind the back. I have a feeling that a leg of Darren Cave may have just been dragged over and into touch.
Hard to see from that angle. The grounding is not a problem, but where are those feet of his? Oh, there's one in touch there. There's one in touch there, so it's very likely that will be chalked off. Thomas Kubeli is just on the replacement scrum half as the man who made the tackle, but it takes nothing away from the quality of Zebo's offload.
Yeah, and it was a smart move from the set play as well. Ireland stacked the short side. 8 broke right, but the 9 by Marmion left.
Here's Dyack, flips it out to Jamie Heaslip. 26 matches he's played this season. He's played 80 minutes in every single one of them. Now it's Madigan for Simon Zebo. He was set up for the tackle, and he did well to release the ball. Madigan comes in to help, but some very enthusiastic defending from the Pumas. Henderson. Marmion to Jamie Heaslip now. Here's Darren Cave. He runs into Sanchez, was one of the 2 tacklers there for Argentina. Advantage here to Ireland. Penalty advantage it was.
And you can see the Argentinians are tiring a little bit now. They're not operating with any more than 1 in the backfield, which is unusual. Ireland haven't spotted it yet, but when they do, look for that chip over the top, because they're leaving a huge amount of work for Tukelet to do in that backfield by himself.
So Madigan is going to go for the 3 points here, just to make absolutely certain that Ireland secure a victory here. Remember, they've only ever won once in Argentina in official test matches between the two nations. The 5 international matches played between 52 and 73 were not regarded as full internationals by Ireland, although they were by Argentina. And the 13 matches since 1990, which are counted as full internationals, Argentina have won 5, Ireland 8. Ireland winning the last 3, all in Dublin. The last loss to the Pumas at the 2007 Rugby World Cup.
Thanks for reminding me.
So Ian Madigan, soccer-style whistles around the stadium, and there are a few little pockets of Irish fans here, which is great to see. And Ireland's lead increased to 26 points to 10, and as you might expect, bringing on the whole raft of replacements now, which means a debut for Rodney Ayew, another player who's qualified for Ireland under the residency rule. And Paul O'Connell leaves the pitch on his 100th Test appearance.
Two Warriors just leaving the pitch there. Paul O'Connell and Rory Best. Done a decent shift today. Leave the team in a good position. And a few young lads get a run.
Devon Toner on as well. Robbie Dyack, you fancy, will be pretty pleased with his Irish debut. Here is Madigan. Outside is 22. Tukaleh. Now did that go forward? Up comes Andrew Trimble to put pressure on the fullback, and the referee and his assistants say no, and it's away for a line out.
I think that may have been a little generous. It looked as if it went forward to me, but I like the strategy there from Ireland. The big boot got out of their territory, and you see the position they're in now. Line out on the 10 metre, on Argentina's 10 metre, and they've shortened the line out with some of their big runners going into midfield.
Big Rodney Ayew from New Zealand, born in Christchurch, and he's a Connacht man, of course. And they've brought on Iglesias of Argentina. Cue for a song. Maybe we'll resist a duet at this stage. Madigan, and in comes the strong hand of the replacement, Matias Alemano. Play goes on, but the referee was playing an advantage, and he says it's deliberate, so it's a penalty to Ireland deep inside the Pumas half.
Well, that looked considerably less deliberate than the one just before half-time, but maybe he feels a bit guilty for missing that knock-on earlier.
I must say, when I went up to the hurling club on Tuesday to watch that Irish training session, as we watched this knock-on again, deliberate knock-on, it was great to see that Joe Schmidt allowed 3 local club players to take part in the full session.
Yeah, I think he's, he accepts as part of the Irish team's role is to promote the game as well, and there's a PR dynamic to it as well. Don't necessarily know if they were thanking him afterwards or not.
They got a bit of a battering. I think they enjoyed it. The Argentines taking these 2 tests to relative rugby outposts in Resistencia. Off to Tucumán, which is a rather more rabid rugby environment next week. We face a 9-hour drive tomorrow. It's not all glamour and broadcasting from Resistencia to Tucumán. The Irish Griswolds on tour. Ian Madigan with the penalty attempt, and it's successful. And Ireland now stretch away into a very comfortable position.
Yeah, they had the option there to kick to the corner, maybe get that maul going again. Jamie Heasley looks to have taken over captain, and just once they're totally locked down the game, and that's done now, I'd say everything else will go for touch.
It's Iglesias. The restart on for Nicolas Sanchez. And off goes Ian Henderson. Great prospect, young Henderson. It's Felix Jones on the line, and poor pass, and Zebo picks it up. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Marmion finds replacement Damien Varley.
Thank you.
Munster man.
Don't move.
Here's Madigan. Back there is Joaquin Tukaleh. Played for Bordeaux this season, but only in the Almond Cup, and he's hurt himself there. And just manages to keep going long enough and present the ball, but Mightn't see too much more of him. Maybe it's cramp.
Yeah, he's had to cover a huge amount of the backfield. They've really left him alone in this second half to cover everything there. Ireland have spotted it. Madigan's been kicking the ball down to him.
And Lavanini, the referee says he didn't knock that one forward. Looked as if he suspiciously did. Now it's still a Fuente.
Holding on.
It's another penalty, not releasing this time with the breakdown from Argentina. So it's all Ireland at this stage.
Yeah, smart play by Jamie Heaslip there, and a quick tap and go.
Ian Madigan to Darren Cave. It's a second row he's up against. He's almost through as Darren Cave. Ireland clearing out quickly. Here's Marmion for Henderson. Taken on by Kilcoyne. Marmion tries to check inside. Now Damien Varley.
Offside.
That's an offside. Another penalty here to Ireland. Of course, they'll be desperate to finish with at least one more try here to really put these Pumas away.
And in the middle of a great little pass in that sequence by Henderson. He's a really quality player, and I'm glad to see him getting a start in the second row. He's playing some in the second row, some in the back row, but I think he's certainly someone who's going to be there for a long time and playing for Ireland.
One start of the Six Nations for Ian Henderson. Lovely hands.
Makes such a difference, changes that point of attack. Everyone expects the big second row to carry the ball. When you've got those soft hands, there's always elbows offside. We see it so often with Paul O'Connell, one of his trademarks, and Henderson now following his footsteps.
Well, Tukelet is still down receiving treatment as the Pumas bring on another replacement, Bruno Postiglione, the prop forward. A lot of these Argentine players playing today were playing in the Pacific Nations Cup last summer, which was basically against Tonga A, Samoa A, Queensland Reds, second 15. They won that, but it gives you an idea of the inexperience through this Argentinian side.
Who's coming on for him?
But at the same time, they have some time together and gel, and that's a big factor as well as Tukelet leaves the field. He's done well. We've seen a step a couple of times. He's covered the backfield. He's worked tirelessly. Don't know if he'll be buying Cordero or Montero a drink for that, abandoning them in the second half there, but he's obviously gone through a huge amount of work.
I'll get him on.
Yeah, they have played a couple of matches together in recent weeks, this Cougars team, against Uruguay and Chile, both of which they beat handsomely to win the South American Championship for the umpteenth time. They always win that, Argentina.
Imagine it's going to be the rolling ball, but if it is collapsed down, I just spot Simon Zebo sneaking out to the touchline for the cross kick.
Devon Toner takes it. Great line-out stats in the Six Nations from Toner, both on his own ball and opposition ball. And you can see the Pumas really working hard to disrupt in there, but Ireland being patient, and it's well formed now. And they might just do to Argentina in the second half what they did to them in the first half. Oh, Marmion goes! Only Trimble outside him. Well, he saw the chance of a try in his debut for Ireland there. The young Connacht scrum half. Damien Varley is in there. Ian Henderson looks and he finds Jamie Heaslip, who checks. Oh, he's driven back. That is great defensive work by Iglesias. And they win the penalty, and a great cheer goes around this stadium for the work rate and the endeavour there of the Argentine replacement, Iglesias.
Yeah, well, you're not going to say that too often. That's Jamie Heaslip, knocked back about 10 metres in the tackle. But there was a phenomenal tackle there by, I think it was De La Fuente, was it, by Marmion coming around the corner. Just showing again a little bit of inexperience, maybe a little bit eager to get that first try on debut. A brilliant maul by Ireland, completely set, completely controlled, and just the break off, I don't think was necessary, but then when he did break off, the pass to the wing was on.
Played well against Uruguay in the Concert Cup. And the Argentinian broadcasters here have given the Man of the Match award to Johnny Sexton. I think it's Diego Albanese who might be the co-commentator for Argentinian television, the former Puma wing who Shane Horgan has come up against.
Been terrorised by on a number of occasions. Bad memories meeting him in the tunnel.
Marmion again, Dyack involved. Jimmy Heaslip has made the error. Remember, next week in Tucuman, there's a lot of rested Leinster players to come back into the fold.
It certainly is, but it's been a decent performance here. A little bit inaccurate at times. When it has clicked, it's gone well. But as you said, a lot of those Irish players played the right way through the Six Nations, and they won't be keen to give up their jersey anytime soon.
It's good to see the Irish boys behaving well on this tour so far, sticking to the curfew, not doing a Willie Anderson, the former Irish lock who came here with a penguin, stole an Argentinian flag off a government building and served 3 months in prison.
You two up. Stay up. Stay up, eh?
I think Joe may have mentioned that story to enforce the curfew.
Yeah, got to be careful here.
Crouch!
Incredibly friendly people, as we've discovered in our week here so far.
Bind! Sit!
And they like their US dollars. We've also discovered that. There's a great Irish scrummage, and the Argentines have discovered today how good Ireland can be in that tight phase. Done well to keep hold of the ball. Kubeli. Iglesias. And here is the man who scored that wondrous try in the first half. Matías Montero. Kubeli. Dyack and Devon Toner making the tackle. Ascarate gets the ball out to Iglesias. Taken on by Chaparro, who plays his rugby for the Dragons in the Celtic League.
Leave it!
Cabello. Here's Lucas Amorecino, former Leicester player. Ascarate does well to step away from two defenders. He's got support inside here, but they finish with a try through Cordero. Well enough to quickly reshuffle their defensive formation here. Kubeli pops the ball out. In goes Montoya to clear. It's a very slow ball though. Montoya crawls forwards. Kubeli. Support from Lavanini. A big strong man is Lavanini. You can see why he's rated. Here's Cabello, and it's still a Fuente who's tackled by Fergus McFadden. Well, they go for the line. They get there. Argentina get a try at the death, and they have really deserved it. There is no question about that, and it looks like it's Thomas De La Vega who has got the touchdown for them. So what a big moment for the 23-year-old.
Yeah, and that try was probably deserved just for the ball out the back of the arm from Abracino early in the play to Cordero. Phase after phase, tiring Irish. A really good, clever clean out. He left the hole through the middle. And an excellent try.
Sean, you got the time there?
And he was in that Pampa squad that won the Pacific Cup last season.
Oh yeah, so kick off, eh?
An intelligent clean out there in the middle of the ruck. Not just through, not collapsing on it, but shifting the Irish player to the side and leaving that hole through the middle that was then exploited.
15 points Iglesias scored a couple of weeks ago against Uruguay in that Concert Cup game. Remember, this squad quite similar to the one that played England twice last June. They lost 32-3 and 51-26, 11 tries to 4 overall. So they'll be pretty happy, I imagine, with the performance they put up against Ireland here in Resistencia this afternoon. Good finish by De La Vega.
Yeah, and he's put himself about a bit today. He's turned over a few balls. He's actually carried reasonably well, made a couple of big hits, and deserved for a workmanlike performance from the open side.
So the final play of this first test, Tucuman next week. 467 miles directly west from here in the foothills of the Andes. That's coming up. Iglesias. Lucas Amorecino. Well, they want another one, don't they?
Everybody wants to see Montero get one more crack at this Irish defence.
I think they do.
No heads! No heads, back!
Amorecino. Spent a spell at Montpellier. He's not Oyonnax, the top 14, so he adds a bit of experience to this youthful Argentine side. Here he goes again. He's got that trademark head nodding style, a bit like Felix Jones when he's at full tilt. Iglesias. In comes Chris Henry, still working hard.
So good at that back end of the tackle. He makes an initial tackle, very often slows up the ball.
Remember the choke tackle he was involved in the end of the France game in the Six Nations. There's Lavanini. He's really worked hard in the second row for the Pumas today. Kibeli.
Darren Cave's been very impressive with his line speed, really shutting down a lot of the Argentinian defence.
No, he's been pretty impressive, Ascarati, at times. So is De La Fuente. They've really challenged this Irish defence on occasions, and they come back for a penalty for offside, so they will get one more pop.
It is a little bit of a concern around that channel. Ascarati has gone well. De La Fuente has gone well as well. They've carried the ball. There's been that little bit of a weakness inside the 10.
Ascarati tries to get outside Simon Zebo. Simon Zebo hauls his man into touch, and that is the final whistle. And Ireland have won here by 29 points to 17. A win really was the expected result for Ireland against this combination Argentina squad made up mainly of second-string Cougars. Ireland may not have beaten the full-strength Pumas, but they have produced a victory in a tough environment.